In order to present the Kodiavelan to your customer, you have 4 different communication materials available: the leaflet, the PowerPoint presentation, the Production Deputy Manager's interview, which replaces the slide 6 of the PowerPoint presentation. This interview is important because it demonstrates the scarcity of the resource and the know-how of Biotech Marine. This testimony also shows that CEPIC cares about its passionate people. Then you will have a kit of Codium tomentosum. This kit enables you to show the velvety touch of Codium tomentosum as soon as you hydrate it in front of your customer. Kodiavelan is extracted from the Codium tomentosum, a seaweed well known for its soft velvety coat. Indeed, it has a fuzz of tiny hairs, which gives the seaweed its name. Tomentosum comes from the Latin word tomentum, meaning cushion stuffing, such as wool or feather. In botany, it refers to the woolly hairs on the leaf. The Codium tomentosum is a velvety seaweed because of its color, thanks to the chlorophyll, its caress touch, thanks to the fuzz and the cushion of water held by its hairs, and the spongy bonds, thanks to its composition with gellifying substances and more than 85% of water. Furthermore, Kodiavelan draws its hydrating properties from the ability of Codium tomentosum to adapt to particularly drying conditions. In the Emerald Sea, the sea bordering the northern Brittany, Codium tomentosum lives in rock pools, which are cavities with sharp salts and temperature fluctuation. At high tide, the conditions are weakly dehydrating and the hydration rate of Codium tomentosum is at 85%. But at low tide, when the sea retreated, cavities keep water. Water temperature rises with sun exposure, the salt concentration rises with evaporation. Despite of these high dehydrating conditions, the hydration rate of the seaweed remains at 85%. In addition, we have tested the hydration potential of the seaweed. It reveals that the dried Codium regains its initial form only after 6 minutes in water. So now, what the Kodiavelan is made of? Kodiavelan is called the marine moisturizing factor, with reference to NMF, natural moisturizing factor. NMF are natural skin molecules that enable the skin to keep water. In Kodiavelan, there are sulfated polysaccharide and glucuronic acid that enable the skin to keep water thanks to their hygroscopic power. In addition, we also find minerals that ensure an osmotic gradient. Codium tomentosum is a seaweed with multiple properties. First of all, the Codium tomentosum is eaten in some Asian countries. It refers to natural and security trends. It's a source of energy for Elysia viridis, a small animal dependent on Codium. Elysia viridis feeds on Codium chloroplasts, which by continuing to work provide energy for the animal. They also give the slug its green color, Vencisname viridis, Latin word meaning green. It had the ability to heal in just a few seconds. Codium tomentosum is a so-called siphon seaweed. In other words, it's made of several cells merged into a single cell. If it's cut, the algae survival depends on its ability to heal rapidly, using a polysaccharide gel that avoids a loss in cytoplasm. It also has antioxidant properties because it has been identified as a potential source for combating Parkinson's disease. We tested macroscopic actions such as the visible upgrading of the cutaneous microrelief and the comfort felt by volunteers. This macroscopic action can be explained by microscopic action. For now, let us focus on macroscopic action. The anisotropy has been measured by 2D imaging. In other words, we quantified the alignment of skin grooves. Young skin has low anisotropy. The skin grooves form a multidirectional network. With age, the anisotropy rises as grooves lined up. Codiavelan reduces the anisotropy of 15%, re-establishing the multidirectional network of grooves. We have just demonstrated a visible action of codiavelan, but the action is also felt by volunteers, and 86% declare more softness felt, 70% more comfort. These macroscopic results can be explained by microscopic actions. To measure the hygroscopy and the hydrophilicity, we use the sorption-desorption test. First, the skin is saturated with water. Then, the excess water is removed. This is the water that has not been absorbed or fixed by the skin. The difference between the two measurements gives us the amount of water fixed by the skin. In other words, we quantified the hygroscopy. Codiavelan enhances the skin hygroscopicity by 11%. The measures had been realized in 2013 by corneometry. With polysaccharides, skin's affinity for water is higher. Indeed, the contact angle is a measurement of the ability of water to spread on the skin surface. In other words, we measure the water wettability of the skin surface. The contact angle is the angle between the outline tangent of the drop and the skin surface. The angle decreases as the water affinity of the skin increases. So with codiavelan, we increase the skin affinity for water, therefore it facilitates the water spreading on the skin. We illustrate this with two sponges on the PowerPoint presentation. The first one is dry, so the water wettability is low. The other sponge is wet, therefore with a high wettability. We show that the skin is dry, such as a dry sponge. The water doesn't penetrate, while it penetrates with the wet sponge. Codiavelan helps the skin to be in contact with water. Codiavelan is a source of glucuronic acid. With codiavelan, the synthesis of ceramides is boosted, multiplying by a factor of 3.5 in normal epidermis. In a delipidated epidermis, the synthesis of its precursor, cerebroside, is boosted, multiplied by a factor 6.3 in order to replace the missing ceramides. So, I hope this movie will be helpful to you, and thanks for your attention.